I've been using this keyboard for a few months, more than a few months, as my daily driver, and this is becoming my favorite keyboard to date. Welcome to Machines and More. On this channel, I cover a variety of tech topics, including PC building and PC peripherals. And make sure you give a like and sub here because it really helps. Big thanks. Before I begin, I did need to let you know that Asus provided the keyboard for this review and to get my feedback, but they're not paying for this review. They don't have control over the content, and they'll receive feedback at the same time that you hear it. This is the Azoth X from Asus ROG. It is a 75% 10 keyless unit. So you have your F keys up here. You still have the insert, delete, page up, page down at the right here. And you have a full set of arrow keys here at the bottom and a good margin between the keys. When I got this, I thought, hey, maybe I should just do a quick overview and show the features, but I'm not a super technical keyboard enthusiast as much as I am with PC parts. So I felt like I could add more value if I used it for longer and shared my long-term experience to add color and just give you an evaluation, because this is an expensive unit. The price has become a little bit more palatable lately, but we'll chat on that towards the end of this video. So housing is all white on the Azoth X. It is a special edition with space-themed keycaps. You don't really get a choice otherwise. So unfortunately, if you like it, great. If not, then that's what you get here. At the top right, there's a little OLED status screen. That's kind of fun, and a three-way selector switch. It goes up, down, or down. And there's a button on the right side of this. And then the selector for the connection mode is at the back here. You can choose between 2.4 gigahertz RF with this dongle, or wired, or 3-device memory Bluetooth. There's pretty thick feet for dampening with this unit, and you can also angle up with 2 additional positions. Okay. And it does come with a wrist rest here. This white housing has held up pretty well. It over time has not yellowed or anything. The white keycaps here, I didn't actually clean or anything before doing this review. And like I said, this was my daily driver for quite a while now, so it hasn't picked up any dirt or grime, so it's held up really well. Where you do get a choice is the keyboard switches. So it's either going to be the NX Snow V2, which I have here, and that's the linear, somewhat thocky option, and it also comes in the Storm V2 option, which is the clicky switch option. So I was pretty impressed with the Snow 2 from Asus. I had a Valcheon keyboard before that used their V1, and that left me wanting better switches, but I've been really been impressed with these V2 Asus switches, and I've actually had zero desire to change. One thing is because this particular PCB is turned south-facing for optimal typing, and also so that the LED can be visible to the user. If you do want to switch out the switches, you should get south-facing ones. There is LED with this keyboard. I tend to not like it on all the time, so I kept it in the reactive mode, which lights up whenever a switch activates, but there's a variety of options to suit your taste. This is a wireless keyboard. Battery life is especially excellent. I regularly got 2 to 3 weeks straight using it all day, every day, with the dongle and the screen and the lighting on. Now, Asus quotes somewhere north of 1,000 hours. That's with the lighting and the OLED display off. But realistically, if you plug it in every now and then and run it in wired mode, because you can actually charge and use it at the same time, then I don't think you'll have to worry about it. Now, if you were to let it drain all the way down, it does take quite a while to charge, though. From empty to full, usually take a full day to charge. So every now and then, just plug it in to top it off. I think that's the way to go for most users. Now, my usage was mostly for office tasks and typing, gaming as well. And then I also used it for video editing in both Windows and Mac OS. And I have to say, for what is considered a gaming keyboard, I found myself just really enjoying the typing experience with this one. It's really refined. The switches feel perfect, and the layout, the spacing, everything felt very well tuned. And I was actually surprised because it wasn't necessarily in gaming that I enjoyed this gaming keyboard as much as I did with typing. Generally speaking, this one just disappeared under my hands and just let me work or game, and I didn't actually think too much of it, and actually until now when I'm consolidating my experience here. So let's do some quick acoustic testing here. I'll give you some sound samples. I love the sound of these snow switches. They're tuned just enough to give you feedback, but they're not overly noisy. They don't feel as dead as cherry browns, and they're a little less bright than your typical reds. And well, like I said, well dampened, no weird vibrations. With the Azoth X, Asus is using a 5-layer dampening structure, and I kept this one all stock because it feels really balanced as with the rest of the unit. It doesn't feel or sound hollow, it's not overly dampened, the stock tuning is pretty good already. So I've covered a lot of the good. Was there something I did not like? Yes, and that's this 3-position switch. While it's convenient to have the volume up and down functionality, for example, I didn't use it much because when I interacted with it, I often messed up the settings because it's really easy to accidentally trigger the down motion when you meant to flick it up or flick it down, especially when you're not looking at it. And, it would just mute the sound. So I ended up just adjusting the sound in Windows because it's less, conflict if you're looking at the screen. Bluetooth pairing was a little clunky because of this as well. You're supposed to hold down the middle button here and then press down, but I sometimes found myself selecting through devices instead because it's just, it's kind of sensitive that way. And that's a minor dislike, but otherwise the rest of the keyboard is fairly spectacular. Okay, pricing. This one debuted at $270 US, which is fairly steep, but now it's at $225 lately that I've seen recently, and then I think it's a little bit more palatable. It is still on the high end for 75% TKL mechanical keyboards, but with the amount of features that are present, the good out-of-the-box tuning, the excellent connectivity, battery life, screen, and for me, just how good the typing experience is holistically. If you're looking for something that works well out of the box, that you don't need to mess with much and checks off all the boxes and you need these features, I think this is well worth it. It's going to be more of a buy once, cry once type of device, but it's held up incredibly well without any incidents. So yeah, that'll do it for this one. Hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful. Make sure you give a like if so, and sub, and links for this one are down below if you'd like to support the channel. Big thanks for watching.